Winslow, plugs. You got a lot of them. Please plug away.
I'll plug it up. Okay, I'm Winslow Dumiane. You can find everything I do at winslowdumaine.com. I do a lot of stuff on Instagram. I've announced my new game, the United States Department of Gangstalking. You can hop on my Discord if you'd like to play. You can also get my other game called The Restless, which was it's a dungeon crawler drawn completely by hand by me. That's available on my website. A ton of stuff's there. I'm also on Twitter at Winslow Dumaine. And if you're into stories of the early internet, come on over and listen to us at I'm From the Internet. It's a great podcast about something awful, the goons and the internet and all of their consequences. So check me out there, and I hope to see you on the Discord.
You will. I big huge vouch for I'm From the Internet.
It's great, dude.
It's one of my favorite podcasts, so I appreciate it. Anyways, thank you again for your plugs. They'll be at the front, and then we'll get on with the episode.
Perfect.
Welcome back to HomieVulgaris. I'm your host, Marcos. Today with us, special guest, Winslow Dumaine, creator of... You just said it, and my brain just blanked on it. What the fuck is my problem?
It's called The Restless.
The Restless. I keep wanting to say the damaged.
the damaged.
The damaged.
I keep fucked upness.
The fucked upness.
That's a good name.
That is,
I would watch The Fucked Upness, dude. That's a good name.
That's not bad at all. I like that.
Yeah.
It's just a series of bad events. You know what I'm saying?
Just the fucked upness.
This is fucked up, man. Dude.
Yeah. Bro.
No, we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. But you were explaining to me the nightmare that is being a solo.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. So, the Kickstarter for my game, I made a game called The Restless. It's a tabletop dungeon crawler, and I drew the entire thing by hand. It's 850 cards. It's enormous. It's this whole thing. And I made it all. I kickstarted it. I funded it through all of that, and I ordered 3,000 copies, and they sent me 20,000 pounds of the game, right, on a semi truck. So when it arrives at my storage unit, all of the pallets had tilted over, which means that it was me and Alex and this like. God, where is he from? He was a Serbian guy.
Yeah.
So we had like 4 words in between us, and all of the pallets had tilted over, and so we had to unload 20,000 pounds of the game, box by box by box by box by box, and fill my car up, take it home, take it back, take it home, take it back. I filled a 20 by 10, basically floor to ceiling with boxes. Mm-hmm. I take them home. And, like, there's so much game in my house that it becomes, like, a question of, are these floorboards strong enough for what I'm putting on it?
On them, yeah.
And so, like, I pack... Each game is, like, 8 pounds, and then a lot of them got the expansion pack, which is the tarot deck that I made. Mm-hmm. And so the final box is, like, 10 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I did 900 of them.
Yeah,
and they went all over the world. It was like I spent $18,000 on postage, right?
God damn,
not including boxes and bubble wrap and getting the game shipped to me or getting the game printed and all of the extra. Like it was like the scale that you're working at is insane.
Yeah.
Right. So. I have all of those done. Those are shipped out. They're available. You know, it's on my website and everything. But I finally got a distributor, and now they just sent me the first order, which was 100 copies of the game and 60 copies of my tarot deck. And they're like, yeah, just send it to us whenever. And that's like literally like 900 to 1,000 pounds of my stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you're working, because, you know, with the distributor, it's like a 50-50 split on the money, right? Yeah. And so to save money, I just put 100 copies of the game and 60 copies of the tarot deck into my car and just drove to St. Louis and back in a day to just... I was the only person who ever unloaded... The only artist who ever unloaded their own work at the venue.
Dude, it's so funny to be... that you signed up for this because like I was trying to start a merch store that's just shirts and stickers and stuff, and I nearly drove myself to the point of like I almost shot myself in the head because I don't know how I was like stressing out. I was having like like you ever get like the stress shits. And like
no,
it's hard to explain, but like you just get so knotted up and you just get like you're constipated with diarrhea at the same time. It's an awful experience, and I was giving myself ulcers. I was like getting
I bet.
And it was over like $30 fees.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you do it. I'm genuinely like I'm
like
impressed. I know how hard it is.
My website does kind of crazy numbers, and I do all the shows in person, right? And so like now I'm getting like the merchandising guy from like this huge metal record label is messaging me like, hey man, let's make some merch for this band, and what do you think about setting up your own distribution? I'm just like, no, dude. Like I do this because I like making stuff. I don't do this because I like going to the post office, right?
Yeah.
But like it's. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's just I'm genuinely impressed as a guy who has only seen a fraction of what it takes to do that. I can say in all honesty that you have immense balls because I don't think I would have been able to. I don't think I would have put it off.
It's like spinning plates, because like once I made my first tarot deck when I first moved to Chicago. I've only made the one, right? But I've like updated it and revised it and stuff like that. And that was so successful that I was like, oh shit, I have all this extra money. And like I was raised in restaurants, and one of the things about owning a restaurant is like you don't see a profit for the first like 5 years because you just are like robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. You're just like building your shit out. And so it just took all of that money, all of my profit from the Kickstarter and all of the other sales, and just like started making new stuff. Just like, all right, well, if this works, if I can spend $100 and make it $500, what can I do with 1,000? What can I do with 10,000, 100,000, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
all the stuff that I couldn't do because I had poor impulse control. So
yeah, my
team.
secret is that I'm like shockingly joyless.
Yeah.
Like my capacity to feel joy and pleasure is so stunted that like I'm not tempted by any of that stuff.
We have the opposite because like my problem is I'm always constantly in the world of pain. So anytime I'm like, oh, I could just have a little sweet little something to myself,
a little treat,
and then I'm like, well, now I'm spending $30,000 on the street. It's fine. I've earned it. It's like, no, dude, what are you doing? So
it's hard, man, because like I you know, I'm not kidding. I do operate from a place of like kind of constant teeth grinding, like
anhedonia type.
Type very much like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I envy that because I think that's my downfall is that like I can put my axe to the grindstone, but the moment that I stop, it's just everything kind of spins too. You know what I'm saying? I burn myself out. I think I can't stay there. I can't live there. So I respect it, and it's crazy to see. I actually have been keeping up because I check your Instagram all the time. I mean, every time I open up my Instagram, you're the first person I think that like shows up on my feed usually, and I'm always like, damn, what is this sick ass? Oh, it's Winslow. It's some sick ass art. Oh, sick, it's Winslow.
I got some pretty cool shit going. Actually, you know what? I can do a reveal of some new stuff that I haven't posted about yet.
For sure.
I made this is just a bunch of silly shit. Because I also make like bumper stick. I make all sorts of stuff. But I did make a new sticker that just says "Engage in a meaningful dialogue with the machine." It's like the Rage Against the Machine logo, whatever. I've got a new bumper sticker that just says "Honk if you honk if you honk if you honk if you honk if you honk." And vehicle speed monitored by Goblin. I think it's fun.
That's pretty good.
And let me see. This is I've got two more. Cool headlights, bro. What if I shot you?
I love that. That's
and of course the infamous cross promo between I have a podcast called I'm From the Internet, and so we finally made our first merch which just says enemy of the pod. And it's all like pixelated and shit.
That's so funny.
And then, yeah, okay, well, no, I have two more I want to show you because these have been like real bangers. This one, it just is a burning hot air balloon. It says, "Proud member of the Hot Air Balloon Disaster Fetishist Association. When they go down, we get off." And this one has been a crazy seller for me. It's just a big, it's all fire, and it just says, "Hell yeah, drive fast. I miss my wife." Yeah, so like I'm like constantly making shit and just trying to just like, you know, like I pay more to buy stickers than I do in like 2 months of rent.
You one of the things that I love talking about you is after we're done talking, I go on a binge of like I gotta get all my projects done. What the fuck have I been doing? What the fuck have I been doing? This work shit sucks. I don't know what I'm doing working a normal job. Gotta stop everything, gotta get the articles back up, gotta start writing again, gotta start making music. So I always love these inspirations that you do. You do make me feel bad, but it is in a productive way.
Here's the thing about, because I don't want to like go on a whole like self-improvement tangent here, right? Because we've talked about that before about like finishing your projects, and you've done so much cool shit. Like that's why we're friends, right? But and I know there's probably people listening that are like, I got projects, but like why bother? Why do anything at all? But like, okay, I can't go into details on a lot of this, but I will tell you this. The last 2 weeks have been the worst 2 weeks of the worst month of the worst year of my life. It's been a fucking nightmare. It's been terrifying. It's been so bad, but the highlights that show up are very encouraging, right? So hold the camera back. I'm in 6th grade. And I end up with this like piece of shit digital camera, and I'm a fan of all like the goth industrial art stuff. So I start taking like spooky ass photos, and they're garbage. Don't get me wrong. I'm a 6th grader with a digital camera trying to freak out my friends. They're not good photos, but I keep at it, and I do photography amateur level for like a decade, for over a decade. I do it for forever. You know, I was like. I was like, 26, 27, 28. I was in Chernobyl taking photos out there. And I still do a lot of like odds and ends photography. Now, obviously, you'll find out more about that later. So I do that. I'm also like drawing stuff and I'm writing things, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody's like beating down my door to find out the next scary, stupid thing that I wrote or look at my scary pictures that I've drawn, right? I start making collages. I love them. They're so cool. And like almost doesn't move the needle hardly at all. I'm actually wearing a shirt with one of them on it, right? And I start doing paintings. And I love these things. They're so beautiful. And I've really invested in them. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? And so then I make the tarot deck, which is drawings and writing. And first one is crazy successful. Second Kickstarter for the 3rd edition, super successful. And then another few bits goes by, and I make the card game. And the card game is writing and the paintings and the drawings, and it all comes together. And that's like this huge fucking thing, right? And in between releasing the card game and now, this movie production company reached out to me. They're like, we looked at your photos that I took like 10 years ago in Omaha. And they're like, we fucking love it. We're making a movie and we want you to help us make the costumes, and we want to work with you on how to get the lighting and the cinematography for it. And they're like they're making like a real movie with like 7-figure budget kind of thing, right? And then this, I can't reveal too much, but this other lady has approached me. She's making this fucking sick video game. And she's like, I love your collages. We have to work together. I don't care what your rates are. And so like every project that I had that was like writing, photography, drawing, paintings, collage that nobody gave a shit about, it's all coming. It just took a long time. Yeah,
that's. I always encourage people that is the homie method is to just make the shit because the audience will find you. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of like you still do have to do some promotion. You have to put it out there, but eventually people will find your shit and they will love your shit. But it's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And it's also a matter of like blasting. It's a matter of work. If you have more work, the amount of time it takes for people to find your shit shrinks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So like,
Because you have to work in huge long periods. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to start something that like I'll be a completely different person by the time somebody notices this.
yeah,
You know, and it's the payoff will be not something that you expect. But you know, because some of the collages that I made are like the covers of metal albums, and some of the paintings I've done, and some of the other drawings I've done have ended up as metal album covers and stuff like that, and that's all really cool. But it's really just like, you have to just keep doing it so that you get better,
Yeah.
and that you get to know yourself better,
Yeah.
and that you can have like. Because if the Restless took 5 years to make, but if I could wave a wand and get it done in 1 year, it wouldn't be half the game because I would have been 4 years stupider.
yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
so
I
like, yeah,
I get it. You also did get me going through your Instagram. You kind of inspired me to start painting again. So I wanted to show you.
oh yeah, there you go, yeah, dude, I get it. That's sick.
This.
Perfect. I'm glad.
Yeah,
you're doing stuff,
I got to
man.
get back to. I missed being creative, and I think that like a lot of the misery that I've experienced recently with like work and life, I think a lot of it is that I kind of let a lot of my hobbies and my creative endeavors go by the wayside. For this like single focus of like I have to get these things in order, and then the rest of that stuff will fall into place, and that was really misguided, I think. And so, but now I have all this creativity backed up, so I've been trying to like be more creative and do more creative things in painting, and so I always love when I have you on. I think the only time we've ever disagreed seriously is about Pan Dulce, which is,
Oh yeah.
when I brought that up to my co-host Ruben, he was like, we gotta have a chat, and I was like, no, listen, I like Winslow, don't be mean to Winslow over his.
Dulce?
Yeah, we had a whole argument about it one time. I think on an episode, because you said it was bad. You said that it was bland, and I said that it's on purpose that it's that way. I remember this.
Talking like dulce de leche?
No. We're talking pan dulce, like the candy, like the conchas and stuff in the morning that you get.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I just don't like them, dude. These like they're not good. They're flaky.
Well, they're not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a white American, man. Like I was raised on funfetti, so when you bring your fancy globalist breakfast pastries into my life, they're just gonna bounce right off of me. But I also like. I had like a whole like a flight of Persian desserts because I was getting dinner with some friends recently, and I was just like, oh yeah, man, these motherfuckers like honey way more than I do.
Dude, I had this my first time really getting introduced to Greek food, I got spoiled because I had Greek food from a friend of mine that was Greek, and his mom used to make like obscure Greek shit, but she didn't really like feta, and I don't like feta like at all. So like I thought to myself, Greek food is mostly this, and then maybe a little feta here and there, but it's mostly like, you know, gyro and all these like delicious like, and I can't remember, it's not souvlaki, but something like all this kind of shit, right? And I fucking loved it. And then I went to a Greek restaurant with some friends. They brought out dolma. It was fucking chocked full of feta, and I remember trying to eat it, and I was like, this is the worst experience I think I've ever. This is like,
it's fucked up.
It made me hate the Greeks a little bit. It made me racist. I was like,
yeah, dude.
I was like, you guys.
They'll do that to you. They hide cheese and stuff, historically speaking.
Yeah. The dolma was especially foul. Like a dolma full of fucking like feta was just like, oh, a grape, kind of like a bitter grape leaf wrapped in dick cheese. I'm okay, dude. I don't want that. I'm sorry. That doesn't sound delicious to me. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to really just like feta to fuck with any of that.
Yeah, and I it's okay, but not like that. Not it's too much.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I wanted to have that. I think Ruben. I've always every time Ruben's like, "Let me talk to Winslow." I'm like, "No," because you're gonna bring up the Pondusa thing. It's gonna be a whole. So we can't.
I bet it's good as fuck, like dunked in some Mexican hot chocolate.
The way that pan dulce is interesting, right? Because it's different in Mexico. In Mexico, it's an entirely different thing.
That's where I had it.
Yeah, and so like it's far more like fine it's hard to explain. It's there's much more of a culture there.
Mm-hmm.
Where in America, it's made as a simulacrum to remind you of what it was supposed to be like in Mexico.
Yeah, it's
And
like American Chinese food.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it has one signifier that they it's like one. This is the thing that's really cool about, like, I think about like America in general, but like Mexican and American culture is really interesting because what happens is like I mean all diasporas in America do this, but like they will take a plus one, an addition to something that you didn't have wherever you're from, and then make it part of that, and now it becomes better. And so out here, pan dulce is meant to be enjoyed with coffee, specifically black coffee, because you are the people who are eating it the most are like starting to work at 4 or 5 in the morning, just grabbing something to eat so they can go out to their job that's, you know, but early construction or some shit like that, and they want to be able to sip their coffee throughout the day without endangering, like putting milk in there that would get them sick, right? But you don't want it to be sugarless, and you don't have the time to do it. So you take the pan dulce, you dip it, and let the sugar cook throughout the, you know, like sit in there throughout the day, and it makes your coffee better. It makes everything better. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's this ad of like, pan dulce is great, but if you put coffee in that mix, just black coffee in that mix, it is incredible. It changes the changes the entirety of it. But also, you're the wrong guy. This is like you asking me, Marcus, what are your tips on starving yourself? And it's like, I have no idea. I actually, versus me being like, hey, what do you like about sweet food? And I know that you're not the guy for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like there's like a whole culture of like asceticism, of like restricting yourself. And like I want to make very clear to everybody listening, I'm not doing this because I think it's cool. I'm doing this because there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing this because there's something very deeply unpleasant about me.
Yeah.
But,
I always feel bad. I would love to have you for a week at my house and I just cook for you, because I feel like I could make you understand food. Do you know what I mean?
Are you trying to inflate me big and round?
No, I'm not trying to. Listen, there's some gay undertones here, but not that kind of gay undertones. This is more nurturing, right?
I'll be gay under your tone. You know what I mean?
Someone recently reached out to me I can't remember the term that it was called, and I don't want to look it up, but someone had told me that there's this like concept of like male moms, right? Like
yeah, that's called a dad.
No, right.
I had a joke a million years ago about like girl dad. You mean a mom?
Yeah, that's pretty good. But no, there's a concept in some type of, I can't remember where it comes from, but it's like an occult term. It's like a magical term, and it's the idea behind it is that like there is something is like it's called, I think the actual root word is like man with breasts, which that's rude to say for me. But but what it really means is like a nurturing. It's masculinity through nurturing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I'll show you how to do it the right way.
Yeah, and like,
you know,
it's this idea of because masculinity usually, especially like in like from an what's the word I'm thinking of, like a semiotic way. When you think of masculinity, you're thinking of like war, you're thinking of like fighting, you're thinking
power,
of like
control,
aggression. You're not thinking of it as like, not like protector is one thing, but not just protection, but like nurturing, like thriving, like feeding people, like
turning a field into crops.
Yeah, and that's as a masculine act, not a feminine act, right? And like I've been reading about that and thinking a lot about it, and like I'm accepting my role as a male mom, right? As a man mom, right?
I you know, I've been going on a bit of a journey over the last month or so, and one of the things that I've learned in lots of these conversations I've had is that I tend to pick people that are really, they require a lot of work, whether it's relationships or personal friendships or anything like that. Like I don't want to say like I go for damaged goods, but I go for people who might be passed over, and it's for a variety of reasons. Some of it is because for a long time I just thought that, well, the people that are all put together wouldn't want anything to do with like scum like me, right? And I've also been the person who needed a lot of help, right?
Yeah.
And in many ways, I think I am, and probably all of us are from time to time,
Hmm.
right? But and a lot of it is that I do just want to help people all the time,
Hmm. Hmm.
and like I just want to be one of the good ones,
Yeah, yeah,
want to
yeah,
like demonstrate through service and through generosity as best as I can.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it hurts.
Yeah.
Sometimes it backfires. Believe you me, you have to have a limit because sometimes it'll blow your whole fucking life up.
Pal, I've been
Let
there.
me fucking tell you.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
for me, the way I've always kind of seen it in myself has been like I feel like a craftsman, not an artist or a master, right? Like I don't. I feel like a craftsman is not gifted at their trade. They get to that point by practicing, by doing, right? Like it
Right.
is the act of doing something that will make you get better at that, right? And a craftsman will see quality, can see quality tools, can see quality items, quality things, or qualities in things, and recognize that if I can work with it and present my best self to it, then that bit of greatness that I recognized in that will be seen or exposed to the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could be a craftsman and all you do is work on balsa wood every day. You're never going to build a table that holds up to standards. But one day you see like a piece of junk mahogany and for sale, and you decide to yourself, well, I'm going to polish it up and make it look nice. And now you have something very beautiful that the world had passed over a ton of times. And I kind of see that way. I kind of see that mentality in myself with other people, that I recognize greatness in them. I recognize something that's really amazing, and I just kind of want to present my best self to them to show everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Like I know there's
Yeah.
quality here. There's something. So I feel like it comes from the same place. It's just a different way
It's
of going about it.
I would say that it's kind of like an apotheosis,
Yeah.
which is just like you are demonstrating to others what they can achieve, not by like telling them that their way is wrong, but by showing them that your way is right. And not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're correct and you have the only right way of doing things, but because like I how do I put it? I go out of my way to make sure that people know that like I came from very very little. I'm not like, I came from the streets or anything like that, but like when I first moved to Chicago, I didn't have a job and I sold art out of a cardboard box on the street to pay my rent, right? And that is where I started, and then like I just applied myself in like this manic and self-destructive and unpleasant way to get to where I've gotten to now. And like I there's nothing special about me. I really think that like anybody who has the capacity to work in a manic and self-destructive way can eventually achieve more things.
Yeah, but I think listen, you're overlooking the fact that a lot of people can't sustain that, and you can, right? And
Right,
I
right,
think
right,
that
right.
that is something that you probably are. It is unique to you. But I'm like I've seen you start this from nothing. I've watched. I remember when the Restless was just something that like you were. I'm kind of working on it. I'm kind of figuring it out, and that
Yeah.
was when I first met you, and then now it's exploded. It's everywhere now, right? And like you didn't take the momentum of finishing it. For me, finishing it would have been like, I'm done. I can rest on my laurels. And you didn't do
Yeah.
that. You immediately were like, no, I gotta jump
Oh,
into the next thing.
before it was out, I was finishing on that game while I was putting the pieces together for the next one.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
And
I don't know how
yeah.
you do it because I can't. It's hard for me. It's difficult. I am very much a. We got it out. I didn't think
Well,
we could, and
think of
now.
it like this. It's like where I'm trying to go is like a really long bike ride away. And there's going to be parts of it where I'm pedaling as hard as I fucking can, just throwing my whole ass into the bike. And then as a treat, I'll take it a little bit slower, but I'm still going forward, And so, yeah, there'll be a part where like my treat of like working really hard is that I'll do like less brain intensive work and just like watch a fucking YouTube video while chipping away at some other like kind of mindless task. But because it you're not gonna get anything if you're doing it half-assed, because
Yeah.
there's people in the world who want a very similar thing like you do,
Hmm.
and they have more money, more power, more friends, and they have like
Hmm.
more neponess connections
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
get the thing that you want sooner, faster, better, and like to a greater degree, right?
Yeah.
And so like all you have, like the only thing that you have is your ability to like stick your hands deeper into the mud than they do to get the things that are deeper in the earth, you know what I mean? And you do that by burning your time and burning your comfort and just yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm like a fucking tough guy. I really
No,
don't.
no, no.
Like,
You.
I want people to be encouraged and
Yeah.
not think that I'm so cool. That's really truly not why I'm saying this.
Yeah. No, I think you come across very.
Yeah.
Not normal. That's the wrong word, but you, but you do
Yeah.
come across as very driven and like in a way that is inspiring. And I think like that's every time you're on here, I'm always like, damn, I gotta get my ass in gear. And it's never like in a way of like, damn, I suck. It's always in a way of like, look at how fucking much Winslow's getting done. Like I could do something. I get half of where he's at. And all I gotta do is
Yeah,
apply
dude,
apply
for
myself.
sure.
Right? And,
You're like you're naturally crazy charismatic, and like you got so much other shit going on. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
you know what my downfall is? My downfall is that I have a bad way of releasing the episodes because because I will try to get somebody on and be like, "Hey, listen to the latest episode of my podcast," and it's like it's someone who's intellectual, someone who like I think I reached out recently and I haven't heard back from them, and I think it's because they listened to the most recent episode, but it's like they're two gender studies professors, and I wanted to have them on to just talk about like just like how the manosphere is crumbling now, and something that is getting released now is like a feminine manosphere, which is darker, right? Like it's a much scarier. And I wanted to have them on to talk about it. And I think right after I did that, I released the episode, and it was just me and Ruben arguing about who could bust harder. And like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and then
That makes sense.
yeah, and then I think they listened to it and they're like, yeah, this is probably not where we want to be. So,
Right.
So I think that shoots me the fact that I want it both ways. I want to be a comedy podcast, but I also want to have interesting guests that are doing interesting creative things. So it's tough. It's a tough
Well,
sell, dude.
what makes it hard is that there's just like some people who just don't fucking gab.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I hate to say, not a good hang.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying that like gender studies professors are not interested.
Well, they have a
people.
podcast. They have a podcast, so they
Oh,
are a good
right.
hang, right? So and I'm a huge fan of it, right? So like,
Okay.
it's not like I'm asking two guys or two people who I've never. No, I've listened to their podcast. I'm a huge fan, and I was like, yo, I think it'd be a good hang, all right? That is one of the things. The other thing too that I've had this experience where I invited people in my real life, actually pretty recently, to come on to the show to have an episode with me, and it was terrible. I was like, oh, this is pulling teeth. This is a
Yeah.
person that is like shocked that we're sitting down and having like one-on-one, me and you, we can have conversations all day. This with a camera in front of us, entirely different situation, and it was heartbreaking, and then I had to like kill it and can it and be like, we can't do this. Like, listen, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. I had a thing for a minute there where I was recording my dad telling stories about his childhood, and like my dad could just gab at you all day and all night, and then I'd be like, all right, Dad, I'm gonna turn on a microphone and I want you to tell that story again, and he would sort of tell the story again, but he would also touch the microphone a lot, and he thought that he was like he thought he was on the radio, like directly talking to the audience, and I was like, no, dude, this is not. It's not what this is. But
Oh yeah, I get it. I've also been doing a lot of like research and stuff I'm trying to get back into like this project that I was working on with Caleb, and like the research is bumming me the fuck out, and it sucks because every single time I do research for this, I end up just making myself the saddest I've ever made myself. You're like, the government is bad. Everyone is aware that the government is bad and does bad things, but when you like go and you look up the history of it, and you realize like, oh, this is just the stuff we know.
Yep.
Oh my god.
and like the 40,000 pages of documentation for MK Ultra were released,
Yeah.
and that was, I believe, part of 4 million pages of
Yes.
documentation.
Yes.
Um,
And we got it
and-
accidentally. That's the craziest thing about it. We got it because someone mislabeled something.
Yep.
And
And the same thing with Columbine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
They tried to cover up Columbine, and then they accidentally released the index file, I believe, to that indicated that there were tens of thousands more pages.
Yeah.
And then the press like really pressured the police offices, the sheriff, whatever, to release video footage from the event to like confirm some things that were said. And they did release it, but they, for some reason, set it to "My Heart Will Go On." And so there's an original VHS tape of the aftermath of Columbine.
Jesus Christ, dude!
"My Heart Will Go On."
Reality is fucking crazy. Like, I know the MK Ultra got kicked off. This is like not part of the. You can't read this and like it's not part of the documentation. But MK Ultra got started because in the Korean War, when Korean War vets from America who were captured and kept in North Korea, when they were sent back home, they asked them, "How did the Koreans treat you?" And they were like, "They treated us good. They fed us. They kept us clothed. They would give us books. They're very nice people. They were very nice to us. They didn't really torture. They tortured some of us, but they tortured the guys that were like unruly. But everyone else who was like cooperating, they were good to us. Like they're really and we ate good, and it wasn't that bad of an experience. And literally the entire American, like the high command, were just like, obviously they were brainwashed. And that's how all of this got kicked off, was they could not believe that a combative state would treat their prisoners with an air of dignity, which is insane. Which is insane to me. Like, oh man, and now we have Charles Manson because they did that.
Ted Kaczynski,
Ted Kaczynski,
and like so many others.
Yeah, Squeaky Fromme, and like it just literally, it's an insane. We had a 10-year run of nonstop serial killers, right? And it was all because of like a lot of people think that it was MK Ultra that just gone crazy. And like
there's some stuff about that. It's there's a book called Program to Kill that makes some mentions of this. It's not really like there's not a whole lot of like direct A to B evidence about that, but like for sure we definitely created a violent society. We created like a violent group of police officers to encourage and enable it in certain capacities, right?
One of the things that I think that we should do though is we should put lead back in the gasoline. Right.
We're on our way, buddy. We're already getting asbestos back. We got the lead back. We're doing the whole shebang, man.
I think lead back in the gasoline, because in the 70s was when the peak amount of lead was being in. The 70s was the peak amount, like late 60s to the early 80s. But in that 70s 10-year period, it was the highest amount of lead in the atmosphere through the gas, right? And it happened to also coincide with the rise of funk. Funk was everywhere. Funk was on.
Yeah, man.
And I think that that's what we need as a society. We need lead we need to aerosolize lead, and it will create a funky society. And I'm okay with like violent crime rates going up if we have funk on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, so we can just get you an iPod. It would probably like. I'm not saying that your idea is bad.
We need more funk though. There's not enough like
more funk.
Yeah. The problem is I've already ran through the funk reserves. Right. I've gone through I've experienced every level of funk. So we need new funk. And there's no one making new, except maybe Brazilians, but no one.
Yeah, there's that. What's that Brazilian genre?
Funk. It's PHONK.
Yeah, funk.
Yeah, and it's not. It's just. Really,
it's interesting.
It's loud music, is what it is.
Yeah. Do you know about Hit 'Em?
No. What is Hit 'Em?
There was a tweet a while ago that just said, "I had a dream that this raver chick came up to me and told me about a new genre of music that uses really high BPM and crunched out audio effects, and it was called Hit 'Em, and it was like 15/16. It was like some specific thing, and Then a bunch of other artists started making things that match the Hit 'em specifications, and they fucking ripped.
I haven't heard Hit 'em yet.
Yeah, look up Hit 'em. It's so fun. It's like really fast, in your face, like drum and bass techno.
One of my favorite musicians that I really can't tell anybody about because no one
Charles
will hear
Manson.
me out. No, no, that's Ruben.
Yes.
Ruben loves Charles Manson. No,
That makes sense.
one of my favorite is a guy. I think maybe not a guy. I'm not quite sure their gender, but someone named Boxy on YouTube. It's BOXXY. I don't know if you've heard them.
Not the Boxy from...
Yeah, you're thinking, yes, and
Yes.
that is important because
Yeah.
that is a reference to that. But the music that they make is what they call it dog shit drum and bass, which is
Okay.
correct, but also wrong, because it's such a fine line between some of the danciest, boppiest shit I've ever heard with the most cringe, just fucking like they have a remix of Friday by Rebecca Black. And it's like, it's Friday, cock and bull torture, and then and it's just like it's sick. People should check it out. I love Boxy, but I can't put that on. If you pass me the aux and I put on Boxy, you should eject me from the car,
for
right?
sure.
Like, rocket eject me from the car because it's bad music. But I mean, like, I gotta look up Hit 'em now. Now I gotta find out. But yeah, it's just, I don't fucking know. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like my thing is like, I'm into all the, like the really extreme shit, and it always makes me laugh when people will like look at a metal logo and be like, but I can't read it, and I'm like, that's the point. It's not for you. Yeah. Like it's designed to be repellent to you. Like there's a lot of metal bands that I'm like, this is actively like harsh and difficult to listen to, but like, I don't know. So is mowing the lawn in late August, but you do it and you feel something different while you're doing it. It's an experience, man.
I think the more noise music you expose yourself to, the more you get better at like listening to music that is harsh. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like where I listen to a lot of noise, and that's specifically why. It also just makes you better at like hearing rhythms in things that aren't music, like in actual noise. You get like better at understanding the musicality of like machinery, if that makes sense.
One of the few things that brings me like genuine joy is I will go to the I bike down through Chicago. I bike the 606. It's great. That's one of my favorite things in the world to do. And my favorite part of all of it is if my bike ride is timed right when a subway train or an L train goes over the tracks as I go under the bridge, because it's like I'm listening to music on headphones, and it's the sound of the train going over those tracks is so loud and so like concussive that you're like, you can feel it hitting the top of your head, and like it's so, just harsh, thousands of tons of metal on metal, and it rocks because it's like. It's an experience that grabs you by the fucking shirt and like just says, listen to this, and you get it for a split second and it goes away, and it's like, I don't know, I just like it, man. I want an intense experience.
Yeah. Do you listen? Speaking of bad music genres, I'm really disappointed in slam because of how racist it became. It started out as like something
slam
fun.
Poetry. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know about slam, like the metal, slam metal?
Yeah. I'm more or less familiar. Yeah.
And I, when it started out, it was really interesting because what it was a lot of hardcore dudes that listen to gangster rap. They were sampling gangster rap and putting it in metal, and it was good. It was really good. Yeah, like Project Pat and shit with like fucking crazy riffs over it, like just and like blast beats, and it was sick to hear dudes combine that stuff. And I think because what happened was a bunch of hardcore, like a lot of like Latino hardcore dudes who had grown up listening to like gangster rap had wanted to get more into hardcore, almost like Body Count, but a little bit more like death metal growl.
Yeah.
Right. So it was interesting that was happening. And then a bunch of like unironic, actual racist guys got into the same space. and started making things called like Wigger Apocalypse and shit like that. And
Yeah, dude, I saw that band.
I was like,
The way that people use
oh,
that word
dude.
so casually,
Yeah.
it's like,
We gotta kill.
Are we allowed to do
we
this?
gotta kill these guys, dude.
Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I
dude.
saw a guy who his band name was the 14 Words, and that was what it. That's the band name, and I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, dude. And
I gotta go.
I can't. We can't hang out here, dude. This is terrible, and I'm mad about it because it had so much potential, and it just became so racist. My buddy Hamwich, he listens to whatever the fuck he can find.
Your buddy's name is Hamwich?
That's not his real name. We just call him Hamwich.
Okay, fine.
But,
I don't need to know.
Yeah, and people, he's got a reputation. He's been on the pod, but he listens. He fell down a rabbit hole recently of something called gospel grindcore, which is Christian grindcore music.
I could see that.
And it's incredible. Like the iconography of like the band logos and stuff is like just Jesus being flayed alive and stuff. And like, but all of the songs themselves are talking about how like you just gotta believe in God and like you'll get through it. And like,
I can't, dude. That's the thing that turned me off of hard, because my buddy was in a hardcore band for a million years, and what really turned me off from that entire genre is that it's fucking like it's motivational lyrics for just like these losers wearing like shorts that cover their knees. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much.
It's bad back warehouse worker guys that have emotional problems. It's their I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm one of those guys, right? I try to be cognizant of that. So you know what I'm saying? But I get it. Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't do like, to me it feels so flaccid to sit down and write lyrics about like just keep trying, slugger, good hustle, or whatever the fuck they're talking about. When like I wrote The Restless to have like these, I wrote the most challenging parts of the game to make it feel like somebody is putting their finger in your chest and telling you to like what a piece of shit you are. Like, and that helps me exercise this thing, because I've taken this experience I've had and I've made it. I don't have a fantasy about beating up my bullies. I have a fantasy about like understanding what that experience was and how I can like expand from it. And it's not even a fantasy because I make the work that does it.
Yeah. I have fantasies about bullies too, but it's entirely different type of fantasy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's a whole different thing when I do it.
I know those Ren'Py games that you're downloading. Yeah.
Actually, I do something I'm glad you're back onto to talk about, because you made me go and re-examine it. You talked to me about Marilyn Manson, and I hadn't thought of Marilyn Manson in a long time, and I hadn't really listened to. I think what happened was when I was growing up, how I listened to Marilyn Manson was I would just type in Marilyn Manson into whatever, like, I think I was using LimeWire at the time, and I was just getting whatever was in there. And a lot of it wasn't CDs. It was just like 2 or 3 songs or singles or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get a good enough exposure of it, just the popular stuff. So I never got a chance to listen to it. So now I'm an adult. I listen back. And the first thing I listened to, and I didn't realize that it was Marilyn Manson until recently, but the song Lunchbox. It was a portrait of an American family.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very interesting to me that whole album is kind of at the cusp of becoming nu metal, but it wasn't nu metal, but it was very close to it because it used a ton of samples. It was using a ton of samples, some even hip hop samples in it. It was it was very interesting. And Lunchbox was for me the song I think that like broke through and was like interesting, and I made me go back and listen to everything. So I went back and listened to it. Tourniquet was like one of my favorites, I think, from, I can't remember.
Antichrist.
From Antichrist. And I was like, man, Winslow might have been right about Marilyn. Like, not that I doubted you, but like, I didn't like recognize how deep that shit is. It's good. It was really good, and I'm kind of shocked by it.
Crazy. Like, I mean, we like obviously we all, everybody here knows that he's a bad guy who did bad stuff. We're talking about like our experiences with his music, right?
Yeah.
But like, Yeah, I would say that Portrait of an American Family it's like a good album full of songs and like some other like kind of filler stuff that kind of fills out the
Mm-hmm.
experience of the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you put on Antichrist Superstar and just listen to it all the way through because it's mixed so well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like what a fucking journey.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Antichrist Superstar, Mechanical Animals, and Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death
Mm-hmm.
is those are three parts of a triptych told in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
So Antichrist Superstar is the apocalypse vision,
Mm-hmm.
and Mechanical Animals is about this rock star named Omega, and Hollywood is about like the assassination of the president and things like that. So it sets up all of these different things that were eventually going to be a book that never got released. But it was because I listened to Manson that I became an album guy. I don't have playlists. I don't fuck with playlists. I just listen to the album from start to finish of whatever I'm listening to
I can
because
see
I
that
want
now.
the
Yeah.
whole thing, you know?
Yeah, Deftones was that for me because Deftones is very good at releasing. I think that where people fuck up with Deftones and where they end up not liking them is because they hear singles or one or two songs. And you really should listen to the whole album in its context because it changes that one song. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not just a guy that's like. It's not just like a Mexican guy screaming horny shit in your ear. It's that's like
Right.
that's not
Well,
the. Yeah, it's some of it, but not all of it.
it's just like it's the context, and I think about oh there's this album called The Inside Scriptures. I think it's by Asoth. I can't remember if that's the right name, but it's been a million years. But like the first song doesn't really go anywhere, and it's just kind of a little bit repetitive. And then when the second song kicks in, it's like you've been walking around with shoes on too tight all day and you finally take them off, and it's like, oh, all of the motifs that they were building are now clicked all together into this like expansive sonic universe.
Yeah.
And like it's just so fucking brilliant, man. You know, and you need to like patiently listen to the whole thing in order to appreciate it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm interested.
know?
I'm becoming. I think what's interesting to me is that like I vacillate heavily between like hip hop and like metal and like metal stuff, and then I have like these long periods where I'm only listening to jazz or EDM, right?
Yeah.
But they're brief periods. But I've been like drifting out of like metal and hip hop, and something I'm noticing right now with hip hop is a lot of underground rappers are releasing full albums that are fully cohesive, that are like almost. I think there's a guy right now named Jay Worthy. He's released like 3 or 4 back-to-back albums, and they're all set up to be like soundtracks for a movie that's never going to get released. It's just soundtracks to stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's really good, start to finish. I recommend them. They're great albums. But what's really interesting to me is that mainstream hip hop is not doing that. Mainstream hip hop is only making songs with where the actual song itself sucks, but there's like a 10-second TikTok snippet
Exactly
that is
that.
that's supposed to go
Yeah.
viral, and that's the part that people like. The rest of the song is ancillary, and I don't see, like from a musical standpoint, how any of this is going to be relevant as time. Because a lot of like, maybe this is my old head speaking, but like a lot of the old music, the reason why it's timeless and why we can go back to it is because regardless of whether the context of it we understand, it stands on its own because it tells you this big long story, this
Yeah.
epic, and you just have to have the patience and the ears to listen to it. This music now, this like focus on only listening to these 10-second clips or even 15-second clips, they train you to only listen to that. What is the point of going back and listening to those songs if you only want to hear those 10 seconds? Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's I don't know. I think that there is going to be a huge change in the way that people look and create and consume like art and especially creative media, and it's going to benefit guys like us who are just doing shit with the old-fashioned way with our hands. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
hope
also
so.
like not worried about whether or not Gen Z kids are listening to albums or not listening to albums
Yeah,
or
true.
whatever. It's like if they are, they are. If they're not, then they're robbing themselves, and that's
Yeah.
fine. They don't have to do any of that.
They're gonna turn 30 at some point and start and get really into. Actually, I was thinking about that. Like, are they gonna be like 35-year-old guys in the future that are like just getting into AC/DC?
they're gonna be really getting into like Ken Burns stuff, but it's gonna be about the first Gulf War.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna be the thing that they're gonna be like looking back, like that was the last good war.
Yeah,
That was the last time we were the good guys. The first Gulf War.
I'm always interested in like, did the 50s have guys that look back and miss their childhoods? Right? I don't think that I don't know if that's true, because I don't think if the 50s had like a version of Reddit, would there be guys in there who are like in the Teletubbies Reddit and being like, the writing in season 3 really fell off? Would that have existed in the 50s?
There's dorks everywhere. You know? And like, I think back to like, Glenn Beck was bemoaning how much he doesn't like the world anymore and how things have all gone wrong under Obama. And like his list of complaints were all like they had nothing to do with the Democrat control of the House and Congress. It had everything to do with the fact that he's 50.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all I do today is just like work and pay taxes and mow the lawn. And it's like, yeah, dude, you never had to do that.
You're supposed to do though. At your age,
because you were a wilting flower and you could not mow the lawn without crying, and like you were a child. Of course, you do that now. It's different, you know.
I will say though, one thing, because I actually went back and listened. I've been listening to like newer Glenn Beck and the stuff that he's releasing now. And
how do you feel about that?
He's bad. He sucks. He's always sucked. But one of the things that is very disarming is that he's got that shit on. He's he's definitely taking the Jordan Peterson route of flexing.
Looking like
he's flexing. He looks so sick, and I'm like, damn. If your politics were like 10%, like 10% not as shitty, you might be a danger to society, but you're not. Like your politics are so bad that it's completely fucking up your actual good visual style that you got going on for you right now.
Well, he's just trying to do the Jordan Peterson thing where he looks like a mid-season Batman villain.
He does.
You know,
and it kind of works for him.
They're bringing back Spyro the Dragon, but they've made him a female because you can see here, according to this chart that I have. Like, yeah, just shut up, dude. We don't need any of this. The Crash Bandicoot's nemesis is Neocortex, and he named himself. Yeah, just shut up.
You ever notice he had a big giant N on his forehead? I'm surprised not enough.
Glenn Beck?
No. Him too. No. Neocortex has a giant N on his forehead, and I am shocked that not a lot of racist accounts have made that connection on Twitter. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm shocked because it's wasted joke potential, and I wonder.
Okay, so hear me out.
Yeah.
Neocortex, big N on his forehead.
Yeah.
Yuri from Command and Conquer: Yuri's Revenge has the Hebrew letters for Y-U-R on his forehead here, where his third eye would be. Right. Charles Manson, famously,
the swastika.
Yeah, the Arby's logo.
Yeah, the Arby's.
And had that shit on his forehead, and like, I just want to know, because like obviously like the third eye and right between the eyes, and there's like all of these different things. Like Charles Manson didn't do it first, but I'm kind of wondering, in the Western canon of larger than life figures with symbols carved into their forehead or tattooed into their forehead, where did that start? Because I don't think, historically speaking, I don't think Charles Manson played a lot of Crash Bandicoot. There's not a lot of evidence for either he did or didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just kind of curious as to like there's got to be a connection down there somewhere.
I know that a significant, something interesting that, and I don't quote me on. I could be completely pulling this out of my ass, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I remember getting into a few years ago, like British sailor tattoos. That was back in the day. They're naval tattoos. They weren't guys who were like in the Navy. These were like sailors. These were guys who were like essentially hobos. They were sea hobos.
Yeah.
They would just go ship to ship. And they had a whole language of like tattoos and meanings. Like I think one of them was like if you got a big bone tattooed, like an actual like humerus bone tattooed on your arm, it meant that like you had like killed somebody, or like there's they had all these like things. And one of the funnier ones was that if you were gay, you had a little cross on your forehead, and then they usually did like something called like, I can't remember, it was like a symbol, it was like three, it was three, what you call it, and it was like letting people know that you would fuck dudes but you weren't gay. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. It was like,
Yeah.
it's not, these guys aren't gay, but they do fuck dudes. And it was like it was a cross on their forehead and like three little hash marks on their eyebrow. And I could completely be misremembering this or something else, but I remember there was a tattoo that signified that. So I'm wondering if that's where in the Western canon it was like, I fuck dudes, but like, right, and that just on your forehead. That makes the most sense to me, I think.
That's probably what it was. I'm gonna go. That's probably where neocortex got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I fuck bandicoots.
I fuck bandicoots.
Not in a gay way.
Yeah, not in a gay. I like that I don't fuck bandicoot shirt is answering all the questions.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Anyways, I want to shout before I shout out the Patreon homies. I know you got plugs. I know you want to tell people about.
Well, we do have to talk about my next thing.
Yes, true. That's true.
Do you want to do that before?
Yeah, just do it now. Let's do it now.
Okay. Well, the reason, like, I've been really excited to talk to you again is because I just recently announced my next game, which is going to be called the United States Department of Gangstalking. It's a physical card game that is for 2 to 4 players that I'm saying is set during the worst possible dystopia. I'm shooting the entire game by using infrared thermal found photography as well as a stolen security camera. You basically play as gang stalkers harassing a group of targeted individuals using all sorts of like the cruelest imaginable weapons, right? Like mind control stuff. It's based on a lot of like real life doctorate level literature about the gang stalking and targeted individual phenomenon and like linguistic analysis. I'm talking to one of the doctors who's like on the bleeding edge of analyzing the social phenomenon of gang stalking. And so it's really interesting. It like the cards are like super fucking grimy, but the core conceit of the game is that you're all playing as gang stalkers, and the department was like it was a surveillance apparatus, and they would like read your mail and listen to your phone calls and like microphone in your house and stuff like that to try to get the fullest possible understanding of the individual. Their goal was complete knowledge of everybody in the United States, right? But then they started to realize that just listening to people doesn't give you everything that they're thinking. So they develop a mind-reading machine. And they start installing it in like broadband towers and radio towers. And they have like handheld devices that they can go into the field and sneakily like read people's minds. And they start to realize that these are, they're effective, but there's still dark spots in the memory that they're doing these recordings. And then one of the agents gets caught. And in the act of getting caught, the readings on his machine go sky high because the woman sees him and she's fucking terrified of this masked man in her apartment. And then the department realizes, oh, fear. If we cause fear, we'll get better readings. So all of this is being told to you by the archivist of the department long after the worst possible conclusion, which was basically they discover way too late that all of their machines that they've installed all over the country and all of the mind-reading machines that are in all of the hands of all of the gang stalkers are leaking schizogenic radiation. And now the entire United States and everyone within 100 miles of a radio tower is a paranoid schizophrenic mass shooter. And you play as the 4 gang stalkers trying to survive while killing everyone else around you.
I think you just described America. I don't feel like any of this.
I keep having to turn the dial up to make it bleaker and bleaker and bleaker. But it's like a unique apocalypse because it's not like a meteor or a volcano or a nuke or whatever. It's everything is still here. No one trusts each other. Everyone is hopelessly insane, and the sound of gunshots never stops. And you have to survive. It's gonna be
I love this. I had something I wrote a while ago. It wasn't like this, but it was like very bleak future. There was a department that they called the professionals, and their entire thing was they would just go town to town, cause like do like a mini terrorist attack to get the police funding to look like. And so
Yeah.
I like that we're on a similar brain like wavelengths of like how dystopian the future can get.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
It's fun. It's if anybody's listening and wants to playtest, please hop on my Discord. You can find the link in my bio. I'm on Instagram at calculations.
I'll put a link.
You
I'll
can
put
also
a link to your Discord.
you can find it all there. And then the other thing is that it's also going to be a video game.
Yeah.
I'm working with a separate team to make the same story, different type of gameplay into a video game. But for right now, if anybody wants to play test or check out all the insane merch, I have like Fed jackets and balaclavas and a bunch of other stuff.
I think I saw one that was like support your local gangstalker or something like support your local. I can't remember what it was.
It's a rain slicker that says the United States Department of Gang Stalking,
Yeah.
and then I have a bumper sticker that says proud member of the Paranoid Schizophrenic Gang Stalkers Union.
Yeah, that's what. That's what it was. And I was like,
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, bud. And the shit's like selling out like crazy,
of course. We're headed towards that future.
Yeah.
Dog. It's like it's you're just being prophetic at this point.
Yeah, it's fun as fuck. But yeah, if anybody wants to play, hop on the Discord.
Sure,
I'd love to have
absolutely. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna put a link to all that in the Discord.
Thank you.
I would love to pick your brain about this stuff off the pod at some point because
Yes.
that sounds super cool to me. But let me do my thing
yeah.
out all the people. Shouts out to the following homies: Chayote M, Trinko, Elden Ring themed. Elden Ring themed foot job for weed. Thanks for that. A Hong Kong action movie starring San Mo Hung and Chow Yun Fat called Fat and Hung. Hell yeah. Butterbath guy on God for real. Marcos, call me later. I will call you later. Large breasts. Sabo, Alexandra
Fuck yeah.
Gordon, Frumius Bandersnatch. Sensible syrup seller at affordable prices. They have very affordable prices. Free felony for $50. Did you know that crows can hold a grudge for 17 years? Not only do I know that, I am the victim of crow grudges. Rookie Bugsy hitting the Jarl Ulfric pose on the toilet. Let's see. Get on your knees, Marco, and earn that T-Slur pass. Pal, whip it out. Normal take guy. The white Nancy Pelosi.
Dude, my favorite line, it's from Conor O'Malley's movie Rap World, where he's like, I'm the white Eminem. So fucking funny, dude. Jesus Christ.
Olivia, dude, Eric Barbera, Adam. Eat my chunk, daddy. Say less. Goku's distended stomach. Jonathan, Matt Wonker, Oliver Silvis, Maxine Weber. Aldine, embrace the green, if you know what I mean. David, Nathan Mulcahy, Diana Thayer, Jesse Buckley, the entire transgender population of Alberta, hell yeah. Worm Woman, Tucker Trucker, Bread Kaczynski, hell yeah, get that bread up. The Phallic Gnome, Lauren Frazier, Andrew Katrakos, Large Mammal Enthusiast, Raheen, Brother Kaiju Bus Stop Menace, Yoni42. All statements made in HomieVulgaris are legally advice. That is true. Piss Wizard, Steffi F, Lesbian, Actual, aka Gray Market MILF. May, Wannabe, Warlock, Weebs, chanting Pagwan Sanfa to summon Truck Kun to deliver them. I don't know what that means, but alright, hell yeah. A foot cramp before busting. There is more. Put some Briggy on it. Viskio, DJ Hogan, Marcos, the Caramel, Idris Elba. True. Damn Strokers, Dracula, Cat. No jokes cause behind on episodes cause social. Sorry. It's all good, homie. Ancient show title enjoyer. Theo. Your own personal Bunkford. Someone to eat your hair. Someone who's scared. Okay. Torvin. Super deformed. Jiren. Stats for lefties. James Gilbreath. Medical El Kate Lalea, that means whoever reads this is gay. The Loathsome Dung Eater, Tarquin, Hatch Act Follower, $10 more to the Gorilla Child Fund, Sadish Radish, the Hat Man. Sometimes you chunk the bunk, sometimes the bunk chunks you. Billy Egregore, Frank Javsey, Fent Microdosing. We are Charlie Turk. We hate the Greek. Okay. God's Creature, Bathing Eyes Say, They Hunk on My Bunk Till I Chunkford, Names, Joe Cassidy, Laura, Solidus Red, Ripstone, Former Child, Ella L, Socram Legnar, Double Creature Feature, Lee Elliott, Queen Marenka the Eternal, Doug M, A Bag of Sand, Self-Contained, Underwater, Bort Night Apparatus, Carrie is on some shit, My blood pressure is 212 over 119, is that bad? Augur. I have no idea. I'm hoping it's not. World's Largest Margot Peenhus, Grungus, more like Dingus, bitch. Casio, the Who by Casio, by Who the by why by. That one messed up snuff vid you saw in the 9th grade. You gotta be a little bit more specific for me, pal.
It's true.
It's let's see. Jim Schmungus, Brian H. The Limit Is, World's Largest Micro Peenhus, Brody, Letters, Kiefer, Roboy, Gabriel. Ask not what your Bunkford can chunk for you, but what you can chunk for your Bunkford. Jade, Jonathan Weber, Kami Maybe, Alexa, Play the Boys Are Back in Town. The Shareholders, Former Bag Fumbler, I'm glad you have unfumbled the bag. He Devil in France, Andrew Morgado, Somewhere Systems, and taking us home today is Fred Sharman. I love all you homies. I appreciate all of you. All right. Bye.
God.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test